Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. I'm Franky. So I would like to go through this morning the PCA on the failed jail escape with Letecia Stauch. This woman is just doesn't stop, does she? So let's take a look at this probable cause. So this here, like I said, is for her, well, what they're calling it is solicitation to commit escape. And this was back on May 20th, 2020. So it's the El Paso County Sheriff's Office in El Paso, and against the state, of course, and Letecia Leanne Stauch, the case number, and her date of birth. So the following is the affidavit submitted to the court to document the probable cause in the support of the arrest of Letecia Leanne Stauch. At approximately 1900 hours, your affiant Deputy Catherine Draper, a sworn deputy with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, hereafter referred to as I, was assigned as the primary deputy in Ward Alpha 2 in the El Paso County Jail. So this is the felony filing. On May 18th, 2020, at approximately 1900 hours, I, Deputy Catherine Draper, a sworn deputy with El Paso County Sheriff's Office, was assigned as the primary deputy in Ward Alpha 2 in the El Paso County Jail. At approximately 1900 hours, Miss Teresa Borchard asked to speak with me. Miss Borchard is an inmate at the El Paso County Jail. Miss Borchard said that she had received a couple of letters from Miss Letecia Stauch. Miss Stauch is an inmate at the El Paso County Jail. Miss Borchard stated that the letter she received from Miss Stauch contained written plans for Miss Stauch's escape. I asked where these letters were, and Miss Borchard told me that they were in her cell. Miss Borchard told me that when Miss Stauch has her hour out, that she stops by Miss Borchard's cell, which is number 4, and talks with her. Miss Borchard also explained to me that Miss Stauch will pass notes to her and other inmates by sliding the notes under their doors and through the door jambs. Miss Borchard told me this is how she receives these notes from Miss Stauch. And this was again by sliding them through the door jamb. Miss Borchard explained to me that she is lower level bunk restricted and does not go upstairs where Miss Stauch is housed in cell 10. May 5th, 2020, Miss Stauch was housed in Alpha 2. Miss Stauch is classification as segregation, which means from all. She will not move around the facility with the other inmates. Miss Stauch is not to be housed with anyone else, and she will not have out time with anyone else. Miss Stauch also classified as full restraint escape risk, meaning she will not be transported outside of the facility without full restraints being placed on her wrists and ankles. And her wrists will be secured to a belt around her waist. Oh, they're shackling her right up. That's what you get. At approximately 1900 hours, I went into Miss Borchard's cell and interviewed her. This is where Miss Borchard gave me both the letters she had received from Miss Stauch. Miss Borchard told me that Miss Stauch has been talking a lot lately to the other inmates in the ward. Miss Borchard said that Miss Stauch told her she had been making plans to escape and was looking for Miss Borchard's help. Miss Borchard told me that she had not read one of the letters written by Miss Stauch because Miss Borchard said she had been in court all afternoon. Miss Borchard told me she received the letters before she went to court, and Miss Stauch was on her hour out. During the interview, Miss Borchard stated Miss Stauch said she was planning on breaking a window. I asked Miss Burchard why she thought she chose her to help. With the escape, Miss Burchard said that it was because she was Italian and kind of the bad boy. Miss Burchard stated Miss Stauch thought it offered. Let me see, what does that say? Miss Burchard stated Miss Stauch thought if she was offered Miss Burchard's money, she would help her escape. Gotcha. I asked Miss Burchard if she was going to give Miss Stauch any help, and Miss Burchard, no way. That is why I told you could get the letters to begin with, Miss Burchard said. She knows about Miss Stauch's charges, and she doesn't want to be involved or have anything to do with her. Miss Burchard said that if she did anything, it would be used her for commission. Oh, if she did anything, it would be to use her for commissary. The commissary items are food, hygiene products that inmates can purchase. In Alpha 2 ward, the inmates are only allowed to purchase and have correspondence material and personal hygiene. I asked Miss Burchard if she, I'm having problems with these two last names, Burchard, if she was planning on helping Miss Stauch, is how I'm going to start saying it. I've got it every which way but Sunday. Miss Burchard said no, that she was looking at her own time now and wouldn't do something stupid like that to make her own situation worse. Smart thinking. Miss Burchard told her that Miss Stauch had conversation the morning of May 18th, 2020, and Miss Stauch spoke about using the broom handle to bust through the window in her cell. Miss Burchard said that Miss Stauch told her she would fit through the window because she had already measured herself. Unreal. I received 2 letters from Miss Burchard. She claimed that they were from Miss Stauch. Both letters had similar handwriting. In the first letter, I opened it. It was written that the writer's G-PA was putting $75,000 in an account for a private attorney. I was written that the account was opened for the author's daughter to use as well. The author wrote to Miss Burchard saying she would much rather use the money to survive, if you know what I mean. In the letter was written, "You have my word to make sure we are MIA. I got us covered." The letter written stated they just needed to set up some access points. The letter written said that once her and Miss Burchard get access to the state bank and the funds, they will be good. It was added in the letter that the letter was written partially in code because her letters got opened. It was written in the letter about a visit she was having tonight at 8 p.m. Miss Stauch did have a professional visit at 20 hours on May 18th, 2020, with a social worker for about an hour and a half. This shows that Miss Stauch is the author of this letter. In the second letter, the author wrote she had been looking for days at her window. The author stated she already measured the window and drew something that resembled the window in her cell. This drawing can be found at the bottom of this letter she wrote. The letter stated that it's perfect next to the window that was drawn. The author wrote in the letter asking Miss Burchard to check the broom piece since Miss Burchard gets to use that item on her time out. The author added in her letter that she was dead serious and asked Miss Burchard to just think hard. This letter was similar handwriting to the first that spoke about Miss Stauch's professional visit she had in the ward. At the bottom of the letter, the author asked Miss Burchard to throw the note away in the toilet. At approximately 2300 hours, Deputy Jennifer Jago and I went into Miss Stauch's cell. I told Miss Stauch to put her shoes on because she was being moved. During this interaction, I did not ask Miss Stauch any questions. Miss Stauch was placed in full restraints and escorted to a cell in the medical section. Once Miss Stauch was removed from the cell, Deputy Jago and I were the only people inside of her cell. No other inmates have access to Miss Stauch's cell. Miss Stauch comes out by herself for her hour. During a shakedown of Miss Stauch's cell, I found another letter addressed to Sweetie. This letter had similar handwriting to the first two that I received from Miss Borchard. In this letter, the author makes the comment that if something comes up on the news like she is no longer in jail or is missing, to not be afraid. On the back of one of the pages was the name Harley, which is the name of Miss Stauch's daughter. Miss Stauch has her daughter named as her next of kin in the booking information. The author wrote for this person to just keep normal and focused, underlining these comments. She wrote for the second person to trust her on this and underlined it. At approximately 10 after 12, May 19th, 2020, I placed 3 letters I recovered in the evidence locker 71. I locked it with the master padlock. This was to preserve the evidence. The letters were temporarily placed into the evidence locker until they could be scanned and permanently entered into evidence. I have nothing further at this time. The case status is active, and I am respectfully requesting Letecia Stauch, August 4th, 1983 birth, who is currently incarcerated at the El Paso County Jail, to be charged with the following charges: sworn and subscribed before me this first day of June 2020, and the stamp from the notary. So that's what has been going on during her incarceration. She has really been acting out. I think there was one other attempt. I can't remember if it was before or after, but yeah, her trial should be very, very interesting. What she did to Gannon is absolutely disgusting, and I hope he gets the justice he deserves. So there is still more out there. So I'll be doing another video in the next little while to continue on with this case. So when it does go to trial, we're kind of caught up. We know what's been going on. And I'll be doing another one on Lori Daybell as her trial's moving up as well. So friends, thanks for being here with me. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.